my name is Mareep and welcome back to the Fjord. So today we're going to be moving on to the next stage of the castle. But first of all, I just thought we would get back up to date with what's been going on. Improving the mods that I have on my Minecraft. So at the moment I'm running Optifine with shaders, and I've got a new mod called Farsight. It gives me increased render distance so that I can see things from further away, and it's why we can actually see the lighthouse from the base now. We can see the other mountain, which is amazing. It's so cool, and it's lovely to be able to see so much of the base at the same time now. It's funny, it makes the field feel smaller, to be honest. I'm not used to it yet. And over here at the castle, I've done some work on the path, and there is now a path from the base all the way along here, and we're focusing on making sure that areas are nice and enjoyable to walk around and immersive. So here is a sort of campfire set up at the bottom of the hill, and we've got this path which needs a bit more work and needs a bit more detail on it, which winds you all the way up past the village, all the way up the hill to the castle here, which I haven't actually done any work on the castle yet. This is still just as we left it, don't worry. And I've built the first of the village houses here. And this design may be familiar to you because I built something similar but larger as my starter house on a different server I played on for a bit. Yeah, well, I love these block combinations, so I decided to rebuild it here. And it has an interior. There's a little interior here, which I enjoyed making. A lovely bed and fireplace. Nice little interior. I don't think I'll use it for anything. It's just a decorative house here for the village. Yeah. Anyway, so the plan for this episode is to do some more work on the castle together. And we're going to work on getting some more detail into the walls and finalising a design. What we're going to do next is we're going to go into my creative test world. I've got a world edit version. I've got a world edit mod installed in one of my Minecraft versions, which we can use to do some work on designing some more of the castle on creative, which I think that we will do before we bring it across into the field. Yeah, so here we are in the creative test world, and let's just have a look around at this here we've got. So I rebuilt the template that we have in Fjord, and I scaled the walls up so that they were the right height and filled them in, just because I thought it would be great to have a good look at the shapes that we've got and make sure that they all fit fine and that they make sense. And it's really easy to do with world edit because you can use commands to just basically stretch the entire template up to the right height and put in tops. It didn't take very long at all, so that's great. And then the next thing I did was that I copied it over here and replaced all of the wool with stone. Again, very easy to do with world edit. And I've done a bit of work on just doing some practice detailing for this big archway here. I thought it would be a good thing to start with because it's quite an interesting shape. So another thing that I kind of discovered as I was reviewing some of the footage from our reconnaissance in Elden Ring trip was that this piece of structure needed to be a bit lower down at this point. Because I think we initially had this at the same level as that. So I brought this down a bit, so that's better. And I did some work, did some thinking about how best to represent the slot windows. Because this section of wall is fairly complicated with quite a lot of texture and different shapes. But I think that this is, I'm quite happy with this as being quite a good way to represent it. So we've got 2 staircases here, and then a wall, and then some normal blocks. And it creates this irregular pattern here, which I think works quite well. And then there are some blocks missing here as well to suggest destruction, where it's sort of fallen down a bit. Yeah, so I think the next thing that we'll work on is one of the towers, because I think that once we've gotten one of the towers designed out, it'll be easy enough to do something similar for the rest of them. It's just getting that first initial design done that will be the tricky bit, I think. Just figuring out how to represent different elements across into Minecraft, which will be a bit tricky. And of course, what we've got here, this is only just plain stone and stone walls, stone brick walls. So there's lots and lots and lots more texture that we can add here. I've heard that it's actually quite a tricky thing to do to build a castle in Minecraft. So if we build it together, I hope it'll be really interesting for you. So I thought I would start over here at this gateway. So we need to try and create a Gothic sort of vaulted arch shape. So let's start by just clearing some of these blocks over here so we've got a bit more depth. I'm going to soften the curve there. See this. Yeah, so I think that's quite good. I think it's something that I need to practice talking whilst designing. It's not very easy, but I'll do my best. So basically what we're trying to do is to create a bit of a vaulted Gothic archway with some depth. Yeah. So I'm actually not. I should come down here at this point, maybe even further. That. Yeah, I think that's okay. No. Yeah, so yeah, then the issue I'm having is I'm trying to get it to be curved enough, but also still pointy at the top, which I'm not finding very easy. Maybe that's better. It's not. Yeah, no, I don't think this is not solving the problem quite. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine. I think. Okay, and then we need to have a window here. So this should actually maybe be a block taller, just so that we've got enough space to put that window. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll probably use iron bars for this. Iron bars. Yeah, it's fine. Alright. Cool. And then at the top of this archway here, we're going to need an interesting piece of wall section again. So it's probably going to end up needing to be even taller again. No, that's not right. Okay. You're so noisy. Wandering trader, you're so noisy. Why is it llamas? I don't know who it is. Who it is that's being noisy. Okay. I'm not convinced. I don't think this works. I think that we're just gonna have to sacrifice the size of the window there. Maybe these are too tall. Okay, well let's start working on tower a bit. So I want to have a bit of a, whatever this thing's called, on the edge. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I prefer this sort of wall pattern here, where we've got a slab on top of a block there, or whether I prefer this sort of thing. I think probably this works much better for this area here, where the wall is taller. But I think that it wouldn't work down here because it was just a bit too tall. And I don't want to have a piece of wall in the middle here because it doesn't really work. Actually, that's okay. Maybe that's okay. It's okay. Actually works okay with the iron bar there, doesn't it? Maybe if I make this just half a block taller, and I can remove this underneath. Alright, cool. Yeah, I think we figured it out. Okay. Very, very helpful to be able to just set it to daytime when you're playing creative. As you can see. Okay, yeah, so I think I'm happy with this pattern we've got here. I think this is fine. And I'll copy it out on the other side. Yeah. Okay, so I've done a bit more work on detailing this tower here. I think I'm pretty happy with the patterns that we've got going on. So we've got 3 narrow windows going on the tower, and there are several areas where there are these stone stairs which just break up sections of it. And then at the top I've kind of exaggerated the I should really go and get a book and find out the actual architectural terms for this, because I feel like I've kind of just mumbling a bit. That's better. Is it? Is that better? Yeah, okay. So I think I'm pretty happy with that, and we can start thinking a bit more about the texture and what blocks we've got available to texture the walls and add more interest that way. Oh, I also changed this a bit. I brought it up in the middle because I thought that looked better. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I think that's good. Yep. Yeah, I think this gateway is basically done shape-wise. Alright then, so I've done a bit more work on designing this tower here, and I've copied it across. So we've got 2 towers, so that's good. I think I'm pretty happy with this design. Looking at the video footage, I think it's quite close to what we actually get in game, so that's good. We can add more textures via different blocks in a minute, and we can add a sort of falling down effect later as well, but I thought that to start off with we'll build a basically finished castle and then deteriorate it afterwards. I've also done some work on the front towers, which are a completely different design. They have a different pattern for the top. Yeah, and I think this is okay. I'll trying to add sort of depth and interest into the flat face here. And then in game, obviously these towers here are much taller because this is on the edge of a really tall cliff. So there are areas where the tower gets stepped outwards as the cliff sort of slopes very steeply. The tower steps outwards here, so we've got a bit of that. Here as well. Yeah, so I think that this is quite a good start for working on shapes, and I'm gonna have a look. So I started putting together a block palette. So these blocks here and the stone wall are the only blocks that we've used so far in design, but obviously in Minecraft there are many more blocks to choose from, so I just started putting together some blocks that I thought would work quite well in Castle Morn, and I don't think I'm going to go too dark because it's a fairly grey stone that's used to build the castle, so I don't think I'll use deep slate, but I might maybe use deep slate in the darker sections, which have maybe been stained by water or damaged. We can perhaps use tuff to show that it's darker, and cobblestone to show damaged sections of wall. And then near the bottom of the wall, where it's damp and there's lots of vegetation, we can have moss growing up the wall, which can be shown here by using the mossy cobblestone and mossy bricks. And terracotta, yeah, I don't know. I just thought maybe it might work, but we'll see. It may not work. I'm not convinced about this pinky terracotta colour. It may not be very good. But I've seen a lot of people using acacia wood in stone structures, so we can play around with that and see how that looks. Andesite and the various andesite variations and stairs and slabs and things, possibly, yeah. I like basalt. I think it's a really cool block, and I like the texture of the top of the basalt, which I think could be quite useful to represent damage or maybe artillery wounds on the castle walls, I guess. Yeah, we'll see. So for the wooden platforms, I think we'll probably just use spruce, and we're going to need to use oak because that's the color that the ladders are. So, um, yeah, it would. I think we need to have oak in order that the ladders don't stand out too much from the rest of the woodwork. Yeah, so that they look like they're supposed to be there. Yeah. Okay. So, so I'm going to try adding some stone bricks into the castle wall. I think we'll start just seeing what it looks like with the plain stone with some stone bricks mixed in as just the base palette of the wall. Right. I think that was good. I think that was cool. I don't want to have the wall being just entirely stone bricks or just stone. I think it's good to have a mix, just to add variation and interest. Yeah, so I quite like that. So I think what would be good to do is afterwards, once we've replaced all of the walls with this mix of stone bricks and stone, to go in and add extra details and stories, like there's a crack in the wall here. Perhaps the wall is damaged and it's got moss growing up it as well, and yeah, so that way we can add more details to the walls just to show what's happened to it, and that it's not smooth, plain, brand new piece of wall. Yeah, so that's the plan, I think, with the texturing, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I think once we've done this, we can then go in and add more things, like if there are, more serious evidence of destruction, we can add some of these harsher blocks to show that. Alright, so I've done some replacing some of the blocks on both of those front two towers in the gateway, and on these entrance towers here as well. And I'm pretty happy with the design that we've got now. Obviously we can add more texture in game, but I think this is probably good enough to go and actually build this in survival. Yeah. Well, I added a whatever this is called, a portcullis. I added a portcullis. So that's good. Yeah. I think it might be nice maybe to just replace, just see what this looks like. Let's maybe take it from here. See what all of this looks like with the stone walls in. Aha! Fantastic. Yeah, that's made such a difference. I'm happy with this. I think it's quite a good. You said 60% stone, 40% stone bricks. I think that looks like quite a good ratio to me. Yeah. Fantastic. I will see you again where we will get started in survival. So here we are back in the field, and I've done a little bit of replacing some of these stone blocks here. Yeah, and whilst I was clearing this area in order to start getting ready to finish building, I just noticed this, which I hadn't seen before. I think probably because there was snow all around this area and it wasn't easy to notice, but But it's like we've had a visitor who left a gift for us. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for that. Alright, so, one thing I've been doing this morning is learning how to use litematica, which is a mod that lets you create schematics and then place your schematic in a location so that it's then quicker and easier to build. So let's just load the schematic. If I can remember how to do it. And reload. On. There we go. Okay, so I created a schematic of the Castle Morin design that we made on Creative, and I have placed it over the top of the castle here in the fjord. And it's very strange to be able to just walk through the blocks that look like they're solid but are actually invisible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and replace all the blocks that need to be replaced with the right thing. And I think it should be fairly simple to do it that way. There are probably better ways of doing it, but this is how I'm doing it just now. Yeah, so I think probably for these sections where we haven't built the walls up at all yet, it might be easier because we can do it layer by layer, I should think. Yeah, so I will just get on with doing this and I'll build the parts of the schematic which have been pretty detailed, and then we will come back. Okay, so as you can see, I've been doing some work on getting the gatehouse in, and I'm really happy with how it's looking. I'm just delighted. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's the right sort of size. I like the block palette. I think it's working well. And obviously loads more details that we can add afterwards, but I think I'm happy with this. I think this is a great design and I'll be able to carry that through the rest of the castle. Yeah, it's interesting building using a schematic. I've never done that before, and I found myself I kept on falling into holes that I wouldn't see because the schematic is quite opaque, so you can't actually see where the holes in the ground are. Oh, well, this is I should maybe move the beacon. Yeah, I was wondering why the haste beacon would stop working, but it's because it's blocked, so I should move it over. Okay, it's annoying. Anyway, yeah, it's good fun. So I have been enjoying using a schematic. I think before I got litematica, and before I actually used the schematic for the first time, I kind of thought it was a bit cheaty because it's just placing blocks, isn't it? But you do have to actually design it and create it first, and then create the schematic and gather all of the materials in survival, and then actually put it in survival, which does take quite a long time. So I think I've changed my mind on that, and I don't think that schematics are cheaty anymore, because I think for a large build which is detailed like this, it's just really, really helpful. And I think if I didn't use litematica, probably would have taken me much longer to build this, and it may not have been quite such a good result. So I will probably continue to use litematica for more of this castle. I'm not sure if it's quicker to tear down these stone walls here and then build them up layer by layer in the schematic, or whether I should just do what I did here again and go up with scaffolding and individually replace the blocks that need replaced. So yeah, I mean, maybe, to be honest, it's probably quicker to just tear it down and build it back up from the schematic, I think. But we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, I think the next thing I'm gonna do is to build the archway. So I will see you back again once I've got a schematic there sorted. Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to capture this bit here with shaders on because I thought it looked really cool in the snow. Yeah, this is awesome. I think this is definitely the sort of effect that I was going for. Yeah. It looks so foreboding, and I don't know another word, but foreboding anyway. Yeah. Great. Alright, here we go. I have finished the grand archway. Yeah, so I mean, you've seen this design in Creative already. Just rebuilt it here in Survival, but I'm very happy with what we've got here. Yeah, it took so many shulkers of stone to build this. There was like 5 shulkers, I think, for this entire section here. So I'm honestly not sure if you've actually got enough stone to finish this castle, but we will see. Yeah, so I'm delighted with how this has turned out, and there's loads of space to do an interior, as you can see, and like, there'll probably be a connection through to this wall here as well. Yeah, so I think that I have done enough building today. This has taken a very long time, many hours of block placing, but I'm really happy with how it looks in the end. So let's just fly over here and get a view from a distance. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that looks fantastic with shaders. The shadows actually look a bit strange with the shaders on, but when you get closer you can see the cool textures. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that next episode I will do some more work on the rest of the castle. I'm not sure exactly what to do in order to... Well, I want to try and keep the episodes different so that we're doing different things. So this episode we did a bit of designing and creative together, and then we came on to Survival and built this. And I learned how to use litematica, which was really useful. So I think for the next episode there's obviously more castle to build, but I think I'll try to do something a bit different as well. I would like to be able to figure out how to make good time lapses on a multiplayer server, because I don't think I'm going to be able to use any of the free cam mods, because those aren't usually allowed on public servers, so I may not be able to do that. But maybe I can find a friend to help to stay still and record a bit for me, and then I could have a good time lapse, which should be fun. Yeah, anyway. I'm delighted with progress. I think it's coming along great. And I might get some people to help me to do some work on the interiors. Lots of lovely people who would maybe be keen to help out with that. Yeah. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. and I hope you're enjoying the progress of the castle, and let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.